How's it going, Mikey?
It's going. I can't see you though, but we could hear you.
That's all right. I've literally got under a minute because I'm on dad duties. My son is finally born.
Congratulations. God bless you.
Thank you very much. I sent you a cute picture if you want to share it. So I'm really concerned for his future.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got some insider news from a contact in the New Zealand Defence Force. He is one of those new recruits. I think he's been there for about 5 years now, but he's saying that they're currently training in Palmerston North as we speak, and they're looking to be deployed in Auckland by end of next year. I mean, it could be earlier, probably, but my guess is that they're going to be using uniformed officers to mandate the jab. Which will be an act of war, essentially, because, as you know, there are three stages to the breakdown of society. There's the economic and ideology parts, and then if those two fail, because people have been declining the narrative, they then move to kinetic warfare. So that is my warning to everyone. New Zealand has always been sort of the testing ground, New Zealand, Australia. You did hear of CCP saying that because Australia was causing tariffs to the Chinese Communist Party, that they would be the first Western nation to be taken down, essentially. And then once
The Chinese
Australia is down,
Communist. Hold on a second. I'm sorry to interject, but the Chinese Communist Party could go straight to hell.
yeah, but once Australia is down, that is their gateway to New Zealand, and once the New Zealand is down, that is their gateway to Indo-Pacific with all the, because New Zealand's got all the surrounding islands there. This is my warning to everyone, so you need to act now. There are currently a few activists in New Zealand, mainly led by a guy called Billy TK and Vinnie Eastwood, so you can check Billy TK on billytk.com. He's produced a trespass notice, which is a legal document from 1835 with all the Maori tribes and things like that. And there's even been talks that in New Zealand there needs to be organize with leaders and things like that, with call to arms if they push this act of war. So that's the kinetic warfare. But also they're doing things now called the up and close campaign. So they're actually looking and at visiting the politicians in their homes, because we're going to be visited in our homes, essentially. So they're looking at doing the offensive first, because you got to realize that, see, the police, uniformed police, they are there to maintain calm. But as soon as there's uniformed officers from New Zealand Defence Force, they've only got one mission, and that's to kill. That is their one mission once the military is deployed. I mean, they've always been trying to normalize the fact that there's uniformed NZDF, moving around, and that is not the purpose of the military. However, in Australia and New Zealand, if there's anyone listening that are in the uniformed roles, just remember that these particular troops, they have this right to decline unlawful, unlawful orders. So that's the unique thing between the Australia-New Zealand troops compared to, say, someone like, Chinese Communist Party, who, you're inscripted and you have no choice, kind of thing. So this is my warning. I'm kind of on dad duties at the moment, so I can't talk very long. I just want to say that my wife and I are so excited to finally have our son, and we feel so blessed. He has, our son has turned our world upside down. But when you look at his face, it's like,
We saw him. I shared
what
the
a
picture. It
blessing.
looks beautiful
Yeah,
child.
yeah.
I'm very happy for you.
Yeah, well,
And
he's half Filipino. I'm Filipino, so my wife's Kiwi, so he's got that mix, which is really cool. So I really, this is my point, and I've said this before, that normal citizens, and look at previous revolutions, they weren't led by politicians. They were led by farmers, by dads, by civilians, essentially.
right.
And if there is to be bloodshed, then the thing is, like, they're going to be on the offensive anyway, right? So these checks and balances, be prepared now. My home is heavily monitored by 24/7 CCTV. Okay. I'm not quite ready to arm myself because I feel like I'd probably get so depressed that I'd turn the gun on myself. And, a lot of gun owners, you hear those statistics, right? But there's also different ways that you can revolt, and I always said that maintain sort of those groups and mobilize and act on it. Like the great example would be the farmers' protests in New Zealand. There's only a certain amount of things that we can do with protests, however, because we're still paying taxes. So, we're still paying for them to roll this out with tax money. But at the same time as well, just be prepared, film everything. I reckon, Mike, that we're going to touch a lot of hearts when it comes to that point where someone films themselves being forced, saying, I decline this. This is, against the Nuremberg Code, against my human rights, I decline this. And then, bloodshed happens. Like, think of the Christchurch mosque shooting that was streamed live on Facebook, and then the New Zealand government turned around and banned that video. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, it's going to be kinetic very soon.
We're not going to hurt you.
So God bless our souls. Australia, New Zealand is in the forefront because if you think about it, if as a takeover, right, economic ideology, if those don't work, then they move to kinetic. I've got my uncle's actually a scientist, right? And he said that the university he teaches to, all the kids there, only 13% want to get the jab or have done so. I mean, some people have already. 13%. I actually tried to send you a video, Mike, because I went to the local mall, but Skype doesn't let me upload anything more than 500 megs. Mm-hmm. But I just wanted to show you sort of like the number of people wearing masks. Our economy is thriving. We're not locked down at the moment. So New Zealand's there. And the number of masks, I literally filmed it. And unfortunately, I don't have so much time because of dad duties. But there would be one person out of 100 wearing a mask. There's just nobody. And usually it's sort of Asian ethnicity because, those people are used to communist rule, essentially. Mm-hmm. So they're used to taking orders, essentially. But everyday Kiwis and things like that, of those ethnicities, no one's wearing masks. Mm-hmm. No one. So maybe if I get time, I'll upload that somewhere. But at the same time, honest to God, that's what I've viewed. And I'm just really worried for my son, because I just want him to live the best life, So anyways, that's my warning to everybody, and I'll keep listening in. I will be listening as I, as I cradle my beautiful son. But God bless everyone, and just be prepared. Maybe start, prepping like Alaska prepper, things like that. Oh, and also, Mikey, I increased my radio space because I have to go all in with this. So I've been uploading a lot more of your shows. So I've gone from 5 gig space, and I increased it to 15 gig. So if you want to support that, just go to ralphie.co.nz.
Yeah, guys, support. I'm going to send you another.
No, I don't expect financial support, but just it's just another way to, because everything's being censored, right? So we talked about how to be a tyrant in the previous episodes. Censorship is a big thing, like Stalin. So just be aware of this, guys, because what they're saying in the media is not what everyone's agreeing to. You know what I mean? Like a lot of Kiwis, say 13%, are just not going along with this. Right. But they say, but they are. No, they're not. So, and check out billytk.com. So he's got if you pull that up now, Mike, before I go billytk.com, and then go to resources. And there's a resource there called the trespass notice. If you want to read that out, I just thought that was brilliant. because if they're entering your private property, like we have private property, right? That's trespassing, right? That's an act of if they're invading your home, that's an act of war, and that's why they're doing that movement at the moment where they're actually taking the offensive up and close project with Billy TK and Vinny Eastwood.
I'm seeing it here. Hold on.
So just pull that up, and then I'll leave you to it, okay? So have you got it?
I've got it here. Resources, and what it's called? Trespass notice. Got it.
Trespass notice. Can you read that out for me? Because I think that's one idea for everyone. All I'm saying, everyone, is please be prepared now.
Okay, so it says here, trespass notice to all New Zealand government or local council representatives, police, military.
I'll leave you to read that out. I'll leave you to read that out, Mike, and then move on to the next call. I've got to go, okay?
Okay, thanks,
God bless you. God bless you.
God bless. Congratulations.
Everyone. Thank you so much, and I'm so grateful for resources like Mike in the Night. Again, check out past episodes on ralphie.co.nz, streaming 24/7, because that's just, with any warfare, right, you need the walkie-talkies, right? You need the communication.
Smoke signals.
Speaking of walkie-talkies, guys, look into Bluetooth technology, that if the internet does go down, that you can communicate between cell phones using Bluetooth. It's called mesh networks. The Hong Kong protesters use this. Okay, so just stay in communication because that's critical in any kind of warfare tactic.
That's right.
We got to have those smoke signals, right?
That's right.
Right. Because we're not being told the truth.
All right. Thank you so much, Ralphie. Get back to it. Congratulations. We'll talk soon.
Thank you. God bless. Bye.
Bye. That is Ralphie, who just had a child. Congratulations to him. So this is the trespass notice here. It's on billytk.com. And it says, you may not enter without any consent. The occupants within this property, including the land itself, are under the protection of the authority of the United Tribes of New Zealand and is laid out in a lawful document. So it goes into the articles and the different clauses. We need someone to make... I can't read. So for me to... I don't even know what the rights and clauses would be for Canada. But I'm really hoping... so the occupants here on this land are protected under Wakuputanga 1835, the common law jurisdiction that have not entered into the agreed or contract engagement with the New Zealand government, also known as Her Majesty the Queen, in right of New Zealand or any other council or corporate entity. Trespass damages shall apply if you step on this private property. Minimum penalty New Zealand dollars 10,000 New Zealand dollars per person per entry. The penalty is at discretion of the occupiers and is the basis of the claim to be considered. So this goes into very in-depth stuff. We need one for every country. Every English-speaking country needs to have some sort of trespass notice. So this is the one for New Zealand. So if you're in Canada, if you're in the UK, there's got to be like laws that were put in place in the 1830s or 1850s that that are gonna help us, right?